Welcome to RUMC Connections. So welcome to RUMC Connections, the podcast that brings you stories, innovations, experts from Richmond University Medical Center. I'm your host, Meredith Gaskins, and today we are diving into something that affects every one of us, sleep. Whether you get too little, toss and turn all night, or wake up feeling exhausted, your sleep health has a profound impact on your overall well-being. So joining me today is Felicia Roseto, Manager of Respiratory Services and Sleep Services at RUMC, and the driving force behind our brand new Sweet Dreams Center for Sleep and Neurodiagnostic Studies. So welcome, Felicia.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So Felicia is a Staten Island native who spent more than a decade in respiratory care. She attended St. Joseph Hill Academy and went on to LIU Brooklyn, where she completed her respiratory therapy training. She actually started as a bedside respiratory therapist, moved into management, and joined RUMC early 2024. Soon after, she was tasked with reimagining what sleep care would look like for our community, because at the time, sleep studies at RUMC were performed through an outside contractor. So Felicia saw the opportunity to bring those services in-house, ensuring greater quality control, comfort, and continuity of care. Working closely with leadership, she helped design, equip, and launch a new facility that blends clinical precision with a calm, restorative environment. Every detail, from the construction and furnishings to staff recruitment and patient flow, was guided by one goal: to make patients feel at home while receiving world-class care. Located on RUMC's main campus, the Sweet Dreams Center for Sleep and Neurodiagnostic Studies features 4 private bedroom-style rooms. 3 are dedicated to sleep studies, and 1 is equipped for continuous video EEG monitoring, which records brain activity and body movement at the same time. So the design's intentionally cozy. You've got soft lighting, comfortable bedding, and quiet surroundings. Behind the soothing atmosphere does lie cutting-edge diagnostic technology that helps clinicians better understand what happens to the body and brain during sleep. The center offers a comprehensive range of studies for both adults and children, which we'll learn more about on this episode. You started out in respiratory therapy.
Yep.
What was that like, and how did that experience kind of shape the work that you do today?
So being a respiratory therapist was kind of always a passion for me since I was 16. I knew I wanted to go right into the profession. So I always found it to be very rewarding, whether I was working with neonates, pediatrics, adult patients. All areas were, just very rewarding, taking care of these sick patients. Probably right after COVID, I realized, okay, I want to do more than what I could have done for those patients. So that's when I kind of got into management, right? Just trying to change more so, I guess, the way we're working, like policies, procedures. So that's kind of how I got into management, wanting to now not only help the patients, but now help the way we're working as a whole in the hospital. I worked for a few years in management before, obviously, joining RUMC 2 years ago. And ever since joining RUMC, it excelled me in that profession of wanting to help. And it actually opened up this opportunity to help them in a way of now expanding services for respiratory and doing sleep studies for them. Awesome. And neurodiagnostics. So
now the center has such a welcoming name, Sweet Dreams, and it's truly beautiful inside. So can you tell us what inspired you to create the space and how it came to life?
So seeing how the current, was sleep lab that we used to have with the outside vendor, the rooms just weren't welcoming. They were hospital patient rooms. They weren't really made for outpatients. They were in the middle of a med-surg floor. The whole purpose, you want them to come in and feel comfortable. They have to essentially sleep, right? So they have to be comfortable to sleep. Quiet surroundings, not in the middle of other patients' alarms going off, people talking, you still have doctors rounding at night. So that was one thing I wanted to make sure. That was my end goal, was that they were walking into a second bedroom of theirs, right? We all obviously have our bedroom. We make it what it is to make us feel comfortable. So I wanted them to kind of feel like, okay, like I'm walking into like another cozy, safe environment.
And you did a beautiful job. I can
Thank
vouch
you.
for the space. I've toured the rooms. It's truly beautiful.
Take
And
a lot of pride in it.
it looks like bedrooms. It
Yes.
really, when you walk in, the nice headboards and like it
That
has
was
a
the
cozy
thing with
feel.
the design of it, is I wanted to make sure I picked out furniture that you would find in your bedroom, right? Because you want that feeling like, oh, I'm walking into the bedroom, the nightstand, even just the lamp, books on
Yes.
the nightstand, just everything to make it look like a bedroom.
Yeah.
And not a patient room in a hospital.
No, it
So,
really doesn't look at it like
Yeah.
it. And it's so nicely tucked away that it is a nice, quiet
right.
space.
You're secluded. You're
Yes.
isolated.
Exactly. It's perfect. Okay. So behind this comfort is some pretty advanced technology, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So part of planning for this suite center, talking with all different companies that were capable of doing sleep and neurodiagnostic equipment, and honestly going back and forth a few different companies, finding the ones we have now, which we are equipped with NATIS equipment,
Okay.
suited us best, both professionally, economically, everything all around to better the community.
Awesome. Let's talk about why this center is so important. You know, most people know that sleep is essential, but what are some of the signs that someone might need a sleep study?
So a lot of people think automatically snoring, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
yes, of course, that is one of the signs and symptoms, loud and excessive snoring. But it also goes even further than that. If you feel like you have like a twitching in the middle of the night, they call it like a restless leg syndrome, knee jerking. If you wake up in the morning and you are waking up with a headache out of nowhere, you just feel very groggy, you're moody, you're irritable, but who's not that nowadays? But that all actually does play a role in having a sleep disorder. Nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night, feeling very confused or have this like rush of fear, that is also part of having a sleep disorder.
Okay. And I mean, people have nightmares, but I would assume these have to be
Like
pretty
you're
consistent.
waking up, right? Like you're very consistent. Like you're waking up, honestly, in like sweat, like like full fear.
Okay.
People get up, sleepwalking, sleep talking. All of this stuff all has to, underlying sleep disorders.
Okay, got it. So it's not just about feeling tired, and poor sleep can actually affect your mental health, your memory, and even your heart, right?
Right. Not getting, it all comes down to when you have a sleep disorder, you're not getting quality sleep. When you're not getting quality sleep, you're putting your body under all this unnecessary stress, leaving your body in this, what we call a fight or flight response. Leaving your body in this like tense mode, you are putting your body at risk for constantly having elevated blood pressure, high heart rate. All of that also adds to inflammation on your body, which actually puts more stress on your heart.
Let's say someone's doctor recommends a sleep study. Can you describe what patients will experience when they visit Sweet Dreams?
When you come in for a sleep study, you're immediately greeted with our great polysomnographer techs. They walk you through the process, especially if you've never had one done before. You get hooked up to basically like a brain monitor. So they're putting like about 21 to 25 leads all around your head. You get hooked up to a monitor. People automatically think, oh, how am I going to sleep like this? I have all these sensors, these wires. They put them on, but they do situate them in a way that you actually kind of don't really, obviously you feel them on you, but they're not in your way, right?
Not
Because
restricting
again,
you, right?
because again, we want you to be very comfortable in the setting.
Okay.
So they're not restricting you to sleep. You could just sleep normally with them. There is a camera in the room, so you are being videoed while you're sleeping. But again, that's just also to kind of get the full picture of what's happening to you with the brain activity that's being monitored with the electrodes that are placed on your head, as well as, okay, something happened during the sleep at this point, but now I could see on the camera how was their body reacting.
Yeah.
Were they going apneic? Did they stop breathing? Did they have that knee jerking? Some people get up in the middle of their sleep. They don't know it. It puts a whole picture together for the sleep disorder.
Very interesting. And what time do people need to arrive for like a sleep study?
So we have our patients arrive anywhere between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Okay.
We want to make sure they have enough time to be set up, get comfortable, any questions they have, any concerns, all of that gets out of the way for them. And that way they are just ready to kind of get in bed and go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually, typically, they're out by 6 a.m. and we give everyone the opportunity to, they have a shower. They could take a shower if they have to go to work the next morning.
Oh, great.
They are giving, high quality pillows, linen, towels, washcloths. They don't have to bring anything when they come to the sleep center.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We provide everything for them.
Very convenient. What would you say maybe is the most common misconception that people have about sleep studies?
The fact that, oh, how am I going to sleep? How am I going to sleep in a weird place? How am I going to sleep with all this stuff hanging around my head? There's a camera watching me. But again, it's once they are explained and kind of educated on the reasoning behind all of that, plus once they see how the electrodes and the wires are really kind of tucked away and you can get a good night's sleep and toss and turn, whatever you want to do, it kind of like puts them all at ease.
That makes sense. Children can also have sleep disorders, right?
Yes,
what are some
absolutely.
of like the most common sleep disorders you see with children?
So for them, I would say it's probably a lot of the restlessness for them.
Okay.
Getting up in the middle of the night, the irritability for them. They too will go through the same thing of snoring. If maybe they have enlarged tonsils, that's when ENT gets involved, and we, they send us a lot of patients for that reason. Some anatomy, neuromuscular issues too. We get from pediatric patients. So, they do have a lot of similarities, believe it or not, in the adults.
Okay. What's the youngest usually that you treat for pediatrics in the
So for sleep, pediatrics, we could do as young as 2 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is maybe a simple habit that somebody can adopt to help improve their sleep?
Just a routine. A routine meaning every day, doesn't matter, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day, going to sleep at the same time, waking up at the same time, giving your body, the enough amount of sleep that it needs, the amount of hours in the night, but also putting yourself into that routine of when I'm going to go to sleep and when I'm going to wake up. If you have any of these signs or symptoms, you really should just get it checked out, though.
And what about the digital worlds that we live in today? Is it true what they say about watching TV
Too much
or
screen
phones
time
before bed?
It does, right? So when you're laying in bed, you think, oh, I can't fall asleep, I'll just scroll through my phone. But your brain is going.
Yeah.
It's constantly, even when, you don't think that, okay, like I'm on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, it's still activating your brain. It's going to take a while for it to shut off. So keeping your phone away from your bed for at least however long, I don't know, hour, 2 hours before you're going to sleep, really will shut your brain off and kind of help improve the quality, hopefully, to get a better night's sleep.
What are some things that could happen if somebody leaves a sleep disorder untreated down the road?
Just think about what you're doing to your body, the stress that you're constantly putting your body under. When you have these signs and symptoms, you don't get it treated, you're leaving your body in this state of, I'm putting so much stress on my heart, I'm stopping breathing. I'm not breathing during the night. I'm waking up, I'm choking. Eventually all of these things could lead to heart disease, a heart attack. You let it go untreated for so long, you could potentially stop breathing long enough to not wake up.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important. Some people think, oh, it's just sleep, like it's nothing. Like it does. Over time, it adds up like everything else, and it will truly affect your quality of life.
What's one thing, that maybe surprises most people when they come in for these sleep studies?
I think they will be very surprised at like how homey it is.
Yeah.
And I know I keep saying it, but it's just true, right? You really want that homey feeling. We made sure like the techs that we have, those are the only people you're working with that night. So those techs have enough experience to kind of answer all the questions that the patients may have, make them feel comfortable, make them feel at home, and let them really realize that the test isn't as scary as it seems, or annoying or whatever it is, because again, with the wires, the electrodes, whatever it is, it really is not as bad, So.
And say like a pediatric patient comes in, their parent
So the
gets to
parents
stay with them.
absolutely can stay. And actually what's nice, so the 3 rooms that we have dedicated in the center, one of the rooms, I made it more for them, directed towards them. So it was
cute.
So I like to call it like the little pediatric room. Kids' books, just a lot of paintings and stuff on the wall for them to kind of make them feel like they're at home. Because especially it's very tough for a pediatric patient, have them stay still to put the electrodes on, have them get comfortable, have them fall asleep. So just maybe putting that extra stuff in the room for them. They even have like little games for them, tire them out. And then of course, we absolutely like their parents for them to stay with them.
We also have, some other features of Sweet Dreams, the center also features the video EEG monitoring, which is pretty advanced. So for those who are unfamiliar, can you explain what a video EEG is?
So for video EEG, it's very similar actually to a sleep study. Video EEG, right now we're primarily doing it inpatient, which eventually we are going to be expanding it to outpatients.
Okay.
But essentially a video EEG, again, you're hooked up with electrodes all around your head. It is testing the brain wavelengths that's going on, any brain activity that's happening. But with the video, again, you're on camera because, again, you want to get that whole scope, and it gives the physician the whole idea of what's happening. Is the patient having a seizure? If they're having a seizure, what's happening to their body? You know, what does the whole scene look like? And we could capture this on video now.
Perfect. And now this is a study that people do not necessarily need to be asleep for. They can be awake.
Nope,
right?
they don't. They could be completely awake for it. They're just being monitored on a video, but they don't have to necessarily be asleep. Now, a lot of the times, video EEGs typically run anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. We do have sometimes maybe a little bit less, especially if it's a peds patient and they want to, just leave already, which I don't blame them. Typically, it is 24 hours. So if you're sleeping, which actually makes it even better because, unfortunately, you have epilepsy, neuromuscular issues. If you're seizing in your sleep, again, we're still capturing that on video.
Gotcha.
So we are really providing that full scope for the physicians to diagnose our patients with any neuro issue that they have via the video EEG and now the sleep disorders.
What kind of symptoms might lead someone to need a neurodiagnostic test like that aside from like stroke and some of the ones you just mentioned?
Any signs and symptoms for a video EEG, maybe that might be ordered by a doctor, could be, anything that a patient may have, like unexplained spells or episodes, meaning blank stares. If they're falling out of nowhere with no explanation, kind of like that limb jerking again.
Okay.
If you feel any stiffness, confusion, memory loss. Of course, if a patient becomes unresponsive, but they might need a little more help than that. Yeah. Seizures, epilepsy, again, twitching, just unusual body movements, changes in your awareness and your mood again, believe it or not, and any ongoing seizures that you may have like a history of it and maybe you have like a new onset of unexplained episodes of them. So.
Gotcha. And how does this type of testing help the doctors?
It helps them give them that full picture of what's going on during these episodes of maybe I have a twitch going on in my leg or a twitch going on in my arm or, that knee jerking happening or I just have all of a sudden like a blank stare. What is really happening? But now I'm capturing it with capturing the brain activity as well as being monitored on the video. Like what is causing all of this? What's happening at the same time? It gives them that full picture.
Okay. Let's just say somebody gets one of these tests done, whether it's the neurodiagnostic testing or the sleep studies. How long do the results typically take and who is the one that's interpreting them?
So for video EEG, we have Dr. Zatre on board with us. He has a very extensive history in neurodiagnostics. He typically reads them daily.
Okay.
Especially right now with our population being solely inpatient. He's constantly, I'm always in contact with him, annoying him hey, this study is up and running. It just got uploaded. We're done. Can you please read it? He's very good. He reads them daily. And we actually just started yesterday doing live feedback, meaning we are able to kind of let him know, hey, listen, this patient is on. You're not in the building. Can you remote in? Check the video going on right now. Do you have any, impending, impressive feedback that maybe the medical team needs to know about right now instead of waiting until the testing is done and waiting for your report. So I actually just started doing that with him. And then as far as the sleep studies, we have Dr. Vidon on board with us reading our sleep studies. And usually that turnaround time is about 1 to 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And of course, obviously anything that is, stat and pending, I just press them a little bit more.
Yeah. And I know that there's so many different, types of testing that you can do. I thought maybe we could run through maybe some of the more popular ones. So I've heard the term the nocturnal polysomnogram or NPSG. So what is that one?
So that's the initial sleep study.
Okay.
So that is your first in line diagnostic sleep study that everyone pretty much gets in lab when they come in for their first sleep study. They'll come in, they get hooked up with the electrodes, and that's basically the initial diagnosis. Do you have OSA, meaning do you have obstructive sleep apnea, and how severe is it?
Okay.
Once you're diagnosed with that, then they kind of like lead into each other. If you're diagnosed, if you have a positive NPSG, you have sleep apnea, then we need to know, okay, how much pressure, how much of the, what levels of the pressure on a CPAP or even what we call bi-level or BiPAP machine do you need? So that kind of leads you into another test that's called CPAP or BiPAP titration study. Again, you come in, you get hooked up the same way you would always get hooked up. This time you are being monitored while wearing a CPAP device. And it lets us know at what point it will ramp up and down with the pressures, and it lets us know at what point that pressure that you were on helped keep your airways open.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what about what happens with a split night study?
So a split night study starts. It's an NPSG and a titration in one.
Oh.
So you start off basically just an initial study. Mm-hmm. You start off with your NPSG. You're just hooked up with the electrodes. You're sleeping. If the tech then sees that you would be qualified and do have sleep apnea, they do stop the testing, put you on a CPAP machine, and we'll start titrating the pressures to see at what point those pressures are keeping your airways open.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So they would only need to be there for one night for that?
One night, and you get 2 tests.
And you get 2 tests. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. What about a multiple sleep latency test and the maintenance of wakefulness test? When might those be used?
So multiple sleep latency test is basically like a daytime nap study.
Oh.
Yeah. So you come in, you actually do your NPSG study. We wake you up. Then you basically stay in the room, and we kind of monitor until how long are you then feeling very tired and kind of take a nap in the middle of the day.
Got it.
So you're there a little bit longer than the night study. You're there up and through the next day.
Got it.
A maintenance of wakefulness test is we basically leave you in a dark room.
Oh.
It's not scary, I promise. But the whole purpose of the test, so there's no TV watching, nothing on your phone. Basically, how long does it take for you being in a quiet environment for you to start to feel tired and fall asleep? A lot of testing for these 2 tests are a lot of city workers that operate heavy machinery, like bus drivers, sanitation workers, because they're operating, these big trucks, and are they falling asleep in the middle of their day? They have some downtime. Do they start to feel sleepy? So a lot of those tests we see with our city workers.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine because it's a sedentary job as well, that it could definitely lead to that.
Right.
Okay. This type of advanced testing hasn't always been available on Staten Island, right?
No. So for a very long time, in a controlled hospital setting, the only other lab that was available on the island was at another hospital on the South Shore.
Okay.
And we have never really had anything, in a controlled hospital environment on the North Shore to serve our North Shore community.
Great. Mm-hmm. So it's wonderful to bring that.
You don't have to go far.
Okay. So what do you find most rewarding about seeing the center finally open, since this was your baby?
It is honestly just overall very rewarding. I have been working at this so hard for probably close to a year, between just the constant meetings with the construction people, facilities, taunting my boss about it. When are we moving? When are we doing this? Finding the right location in the hospital, because again, you want to be isolated. You want them to be in a quiet environment. Mm-hmm. Just literally building it from ground up, I think has been the most rewarding. And then, we're a month in with having our patients already. Yeah. And the satisfactory that they feel coming in, and they're walking into this brand new center, and it's beautiful and it's quiet. Just seeing how happy they've been with it actually makes it the most rewarding.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Are there any upcoming plans to expand the services even further?
With the video EEG services, the neurodiagnostic services, we are going to be expanding and promoting outpatient services. We want to start, letting our neuro teams, our neurophysicians on the island know they need a patient to be, monitored for 24 hours on video EEG. We can do that. We can handle that. And as far as sleep studies, we do want to start getting in these patients for this MSLT and the MWT testing for these daytime studies. We want to just start promoting also that we're not just about like nighttime studies. We want to start covering all areas of sleep disorders, so those daytime studies as well as, eventually down the line, being able to start holding what we call CPAP clinics, which are patients who are diagnosed with sleep apnea, are, wearing the machine, have maybe some difficulty with the fitting of their masks, or they want to try out a different fitting, maybe like a nasal pillow, nasal mask, whatever it is, but be able to offer that for them and have like certain days where we have like CPAP clinics, meaning they come in, make an appointment, and they could try out different fittings, different masks to make them, again, more comfortable and happy with their device so that they use it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations
Thank you very much.
once again
Thank you.
on bringing this amazing center to life, and thank you for joining us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So with its blend of innovation, compassion, and community focus, the Sweet Dreams Center for Sleep and Neurodiagnostic Studies marks a new era for Staten Island healthcare. As Felicia and her team continue their work, their mission remains clear: to help patients understand what's happening when they close their eyes and to make sure that those dreams are truly restorative, right?
Yes. Happy dreams only.
So if you or someone you love experiences loud snoring, frequent daytime sleepiness, restless nights, or unexplained neurological episodes, speak to your doctor about a referral to RUMC Sweet Dreams Center. And you can visit rumcsi.org for more information or call 718-818-2547. It really is sweet dreams come true.
Yay!
And I'm Meredith Gaskins. This has been RUMC Connections. Thank you for listening. And until next time, sleep well, Staten Island.
Thank you.